Dig it.
Slow drag with remedy. I recently read how the singer Rod Stewart has decided to, quote, tone down a few of the songs that sound a bit tone deaf all these years later, meaning that for his corporate and private gigs, he's reportedly not singing Tonight's the Night, Do You Think I'm Sexy, and Hot Legs. My first thought was to wonder why he'd even bother to announce this. My second thought was to wonder why anyone would feel compelled to follow up with an explanation for this move, but someone did. Back in the day, a source is quoted, the singer was, quote, obviously a bit of a rogue and quite the ladies' man, and that attitudes towards sex and courting were very different when the songs were written in the mid-1970s. The source went on to say that times have changed and so has Rod. The edict in any sort of writing has always been write what you know, but blaming the times seems to suggest the edict doesn't include finesse or imagination. So while I commend Rod for being a better man, it only serves to remind me how stalwart the songs of Elvis Costello have remained over the course of his stellar and eclectic career. Fueled by what he once called revenge and guilt, I can only think of 1.5 problematic songs. Both, according to the Elvis Costello wiki page, are still played on occasion. My name's Remedy, and this is an exploration of linguistics, language, poetry, impactful writing, as framed by the peerless poetry of the modern-day master, Elvis Costello. Today's slow drag is with Riot Act from Get Happy, released in 1980. The songwriting is credited to Elvis Costello. His fourth album in 3 years, Get Happy, sports 20 scintillating songs, with Riot Act the longest at 3 minutes and 35 seconds. Each song may be short, but the lyrics come fast and emphatic, yet slows down at the end to belt out these memorable lines from Riot Act. Forever doesn't mean forever anymore. I said forever, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna be around much anymore. When the heat gets subtropical and the talk gets so topical. Here's another instance of the phenomenon that Elvis Costello pulls off so effortlessly. In his first verse, he's rhymed forever with forever, anymore with anymore, gets with gets, and tropical with topical, adding a little kick of slant rhyme with the sub prefix of tropical and the so intensifier of tropical. Small talk in humid places, his restraint is commendable. Riot Act. You can read me the Riot Act. You can make me a matter of fact or a villain in a million. A slip of the tongue is gonna keep me civilian. To read someone the Riot Act is a well-worn idiom that has changed a little bit over time, but in all of its forms, it remains an unmistakable rebuke. Originally meant to prevent groups of 12 or more from unlawful assembly, it's now usually unleashed on one person from another in a very pointed manner. Curiosity led me to read the actual parliamentary act from 1714 to 1715. It begins, quote, an act of preventing tumults and riotous assemblies, and for the most speedy and effectual punishing the rioters, unquote. The phrase riotously and tumultuously appears 6 times throughout, with various forms of the word riot 21 times and tumult 16 times. It's quite long, a little complicated, and ends with something about King George being prayed for in, quote, expressed words in Scotland. Why do you talk such stupid nonsense when my mind could rest much easier? Instead of all this dumb insolence, I would be happier with amnesia. Verging on anger, sure, but look at the stunning rhyme. Nonsense with insolence, easier with amnesia. These words are placed in sharp contrast with the less eloquent dum-dum, but it all seems so fitting. It's easy to assume this might be a lover's quarrel, but with its cagey absence of context, up to this point, it's anyone's guess what's going on. They say, forget her. Now it looks like you're either gonna be before me or against me. I got your letter. Now they say I don't care for the color that it paints me. Here's another ingenious rhyme scheme. Forget her with letter, against me with paints me. It must be hard work to make this seem so effortless. There are two near idioms in this passage as well. The saying about how if someone isn't with you, they are against you is placed into a puzzle of either being before me or against me. And quote, they say to forget her, and they also are willing this person into what to think. They say, I don't care for the color that it paints me. There is always a they providing what seems to them to be such great advice that it makes us start to question our own resolve. What a great turn of phrase. Trying to be so bad is bad enough. Don't make me laugh by talking tough. Don't put your heart out on your sleeve when your remarks are off the cuff. Conceivably one of his more quoted lines, don't put your heart out on your sleeve when your remarks are off the cuff. I know this line helped me to understand the power of metaphor at a very young age. The rhyme scheme in this verse is pretty straightforward, enough, tough, and cuff, but sleeve is the wonderful slant rhyme with trying to be. Genius how it folds in on itself like this. And in the overall theme of the piece, who is he imploring? This all feels like a secondhand conversation about a vague notion to begin with. It's all rumor and conjecture. Riot Act. You can read me the Riot Act. You can make me a matter of fact or a villain in a million. A slip of the tongue is gonna keep me civilian. Here we have another neat rhyme scheme. Act, fact, million, civilian. But the meaning behind what will keep him civilian confounds, even though it seems at first to be pretty straightforward. I love going back and forth on what this might mean. These little turns of phrases, villain in a million, keep me civilian, are what keep these songs alive and relevant long after they've been written. Riot Act. You can read me the Riot Act. You can make me. And that's how the song ends. It just cuts off with you can make me. It just adds to the mystique. From the 1999 liner notes for the compilation release of Girls, 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 Mr. Costello is quoted as saying, from the wiped out sound of this track, you'd never guess that these dark thoughts were written on a beautiful beach at dawn, unquote. Frankly, I'm surprised he thinks of them as dark thoughts, and paradise isn't paradise if you see the sun come up after a night of staying up, as opposed to waking gently to the sounds of the gentle tide. It's all in perspective, isn't it? Dig it. Again, this has been a slow drag with Riot Act from 1980's Get Happy. Riot Act is a sunken treasure of metaphor, of obfuscation, of lyrics that refuse to show themselves for what they really are. It's a living example of the difficult communication between humans. In a word, it's brilliant. Taking these slow drags through the written words of the poetry of Elvis Costello Removing just for a moment the stunning voice and the dissonant sound has shown me more than I ever thought possible. Thank you so much for finding this appreciation, this exploration of linguistics, of language, poetry, and masterful turns of phrases, all framed by the peerless poetry of the modern-day master Elvis Costello. Please check the show notes for links to the actual song, as well as links to references made in this episode. There's also a companion blog with a transcript and other helpful resources for your convenience. I want to thank you so very much for listening all the way to the end. Please get in contact with comments, suggestions, or interpretations of your own. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this appreciation, please subscribe, give us a good rating and a review, and share with other language lovers. It's important to support independent podcasts. Thank you. So, until next time, adieu, my little ballyhoo. Slow drive with remedy.